Yeah, he said, if it had not been for Elizabeth, he would never have known how they were getting in his house. He changed his locks. He put this type of lock on. He used toothpicks to put in the door. When he come back, the toothpick is there. He took pictures of windows and doors before he left out. This is how we are conditioned. These are the only ways to get in: your windows and your doors. But a long time ago, they had a lot of houses that had hidden rooms. You would never have thought it was a room there. Hidden rooms, hidden stairways. Yeah, the wardrobe. The other side of the wardrobe was something else going on the other side of the wardrobe. That's a movie. Something, The Witch and Something, but it's about a wardrobe, about a closet. Yeah, he told me that. Something else they will have to get in and out of your house. And I can tell you this: your landlord may or may not know. They can have the key to get in your house. I said I was just going to keep going because they keep. My cough is electronic and they don't give a damn what no one says. They are electronically making me cough. No. And they have something in the back of my neck, and this is how I know it's electronically. And see if I can get some magnets and put it there and see what happens. So, no. They will come in your house while you're gone. This is where I learned from Elizabeth. I was in Florida. I was listening to Elizabeth, just finding out, targeted individual, just finding the words. And man, they have been in my face all the time. Wow, tell you, I'm slow. I'm not intelligent. I'm so slow. But just finding the words targeted individual, it was like a key. Then it opened up so many doors for me. It was the missing key. So, or the missing symbol, which is a key. So, like I said, they have the keys to your house too. Or they have a secret way to get into your house. And they will make you think they came through the door because they left the door opened. Now this is what Elizabeth said in one of her videos. She has so many videos. I think I spammed her videos. I listened to all of them. And one, she said she had some. Her and her husband went somewhere. When he came back, there were pennies on the floor. She asked him where the pennies come from. He didn't know. The only logical thing was for them is that the pennies are in her pockets of her coat, and maybe she didn't put her coat on before she left. Maybe she was holding it, and the pennies fell out. Although she said she would have heard the pennies, but okay, that's where her and her husband stopped at right there, because I guess she didn't know what was going on. When she told me that, it went all the way back to like 2003. When Shabbat is over, the sun goes down. We would go to Walmart. That was like an outing for us, just to walk through Walmart. Really, it was like an outing for us. But sometimes, we needed like toilet tissue or dishwashing liquid, something. And Walmart was right behind our house, and shit, they had everything there. Furniture, you can even buy a car, get car insurance. You could probably even buy a house. And it was right behind our house, so we went there. But my children like to go to Walmart. They like to just go and and play there. And then they have these games that my children could play, you know, like electronic games and go to electronic. So it was like going to a museum, really, with my children. So we did that. And when we got back home, and sometimes we go to Walmart and we'll spend a dime because we don't need anything, so we don't spend a dime. Like I said, it's like a museum. So we get home and our front door is open. You know, the screen is closed, it's not locked, and the front door is open. And I'm like, hey, who's the last one to leave out? No one could remember. All these pennies were on the floor. So I told my children, I said, oh, so you guys think we got it like that? That you can just leave your pennies laying all over the floor? All my children said, those are not mine. Those are not mine. I said, well, I tell you what. Since you don't want to own up to your own pennies, whoever they belong to, I'll just pick them up and put them in Mac's bank, you know. But I called him something else then, but he doesn't like that name, so I'll just stick to Mac. So, you know, Mac and my third son, and then they picked the pennies up without a problem, and they put them in Mac's bank. So, you know, then Elizabeth said, she came in one day, she was tired, she laid on the couch, she put her earrings on the table, and she put her earrings on the table. And when she woke up, one earring was gone. She said she never found that earring. Even when she got ready to move out of that house, she never found that earring, never knew where it went. So now it's like you have ghosts in your house, and I know so many people, they think they have ghosts in the house. No. That could even be your neighbors. It could be anyone, but more so, it has to be, your neighbors have to be in on the shit too. For your neighbors not to see anything, your neighbors have to be somewhat in on the shit. So, we went to Walmart, came home, my children, none of them remember who was the last one in the car, you know, to close the door. Or unless one of them, I think one of them did say it was them. It doesn't matter if they remembered or not, because the door was open. So I just left that to one of you guys, left the door open. I left the pennies to, these pennies belong to one of you guys, but now they belong to Mac. And I just left that alone. As I said, you know, Elizabeth said that her earring was missing. So we used to have things to come missing. Well, you just would not. Well, I'm telling you, I was so ignorant to what people could do, even without devices, the things that they could do, and how they play the street theater game. So sometimes things in our house would come missing. I mean, you know, you just put it down right there, and then it winds up somewhere else, and it'll wind up somewhere you know you didn't put it. So we would say that it was The Borrowers. It was a movie. Some movies was our family favorite, so we always get popcorn and sit around, you know, and watch these movies more than once. And The Borrowers was one that we watched a lot. So we would just say it's The Borrowers, you know. You have to know the movie to know what I'm talking about. But it wasn't The Borrowers. It was the Scientologist. See, because I was in Florida, there's more Scientologists in Florida than anywhere. And I had just left California, where Scientologists, you know, played many games on me with the CIA, the SWAT team, the police, and the FBI. See, the thing is that, I mean, they must have wanted me to know something. Because, I mean, all I did was have babies, you know, mostly. I was going to create my own nation, you know. Yeah, they use devices on my children too, so my nation never. I created those to build a nation, but the nation never got built. So, when this was right after too, I stopped, you know, dealing with Scientology. I mean, they would call me, you know, they bug you, you know, and I know they do because the job I had, it would bug people, you know. I mean, really, I never did like calling people and bugging them, you know. So they would call and bug me too, you know, but I decided I was going to move. So what they decided they were going to do, see, they always seem to be 10 steps ahead of me. So they decided they were going to, well, however, they created some bullshit, and next thing I know, they take hold to my oldest daughter. CPS did. Man, that's his story there. I bet they won't touch her ass anymore. I mean, they took her children from her, but they could have programmed her then too. I don't know. Yeah. So they took her, but it didn't matter to me. You know, you want to take her, keep her. Like I say, she was already seemed to be programmed, you know, and not want to be sovereign, you know, and that's something I don't understand. Why anyone on the planet does not want to be sovereign. Some people you say sovereign to, they think sovereign is a bad motherfucking word. I'm like, goddamn. I sometimes I know I'm on the wrong planet. I know I am. Anyways, so they decided to take my oldest daughter. But I was still going to leave. You know, I was leaving here and I was going to Florida. Wow. And here is in this house is where they came with the CIA, FBI, SWAT team, and police. And so they decided to take my daughter since, you know, SWAT team and all that didn't scare me, you know. And you know, like I say, I'm very slow when it comes to certain things, you know, and very ignorant, you know, because to me, you know, the SWAT team and this and that, you know, they are shit, I don't even know anymore. Now I say they're just a bunch of bitches and punks. But then I guess it was TV, you know, that I don't know, I just wasn't scared, you know, and I couldn't comprehend why they would be in my house. But then, you know, I thought because they got my Abba, let me see, it was when I got to Florida, I got cable put on the TV. The cable man, he turned it on, the TV was working, he left. I went to turn the channel, you know, just to push the buttons on the remote. And that was my Abba in my face. They were arresting him. I was like, damn. So I began to call the Hebrews and we talked. You know, I didn't see too many of the old Hebrews, you know, with these people. You know, this is new wine that in new bottles, you know, some shit that they today. So, you know, I called a lot around, you know, the Hebrews, you know, we got together and we talked and this, that, and another. And then Abba would call from jail and, you know, and Texas would be on the phone and LA would be on the phone, St. Louis would be on the phone, you know, Florida, you know, we all would be on the phone. I guess it was a conference call, you know, and Abba would talk and talk to us about things. So and they came into my house, and then I go to Florida anyway. They took my daughter, and I was leaving anyway. You know, you wanna, you know, when you're done with her, send it to me. You know. So, and I left her address for them too, but the judge decided to give her back to me a couple of days before I left. She was already at the house anyway. They didn't even tell me she had ran away. She had been at the house maybe 3 days. I had to go to court that morning and just decided to give her back to me. Yeah, I know you don't want to. My daughter will put a trash can on your head and tell you you're trash and tell you, you're not my mom. Who are you? I don't know you. You're a stranger. Yeah, they didn't want to deal with her. So I left. I go to Florida and then I, you know, get the cable turned on and there is my Abba being arrested. Now I'm talking to Hebrews, and I come to the conclusion that the reason that the FBI and all these people were in my house was because they thought my Abba was there. Wow, I really thought I was important. I had to think I was important, you know. And that's another thing to me too. Why would they think my Abba was here? You know, I'm not that important, and I know that. You know, I'm sure my Abba would have went, you know, to Florida. You know, I wrote a book. That's another story. Wow. Anyways, so that's what I chalked that up to. You know, them coming to my house because they thought maybe my Abba was at my house. You know. So then you know, just a lot of things happen. A lot of things happen. And when I found, finally getting back to that, yeah. When I found that Scientology was mixed up with targeted individuals, I started to ponder on that some more. Because there was another time, more than once, this CIA, FBI, SWAT team, and police were outside my home. And this is why I said the neighbors have to be in on it, you know. But back then, my neighbors were not in on it. It was just StrEEt that performed in front of my neighbors. My neighbors didn't know, because these were, you know, the police, the SWAT team. But they came to a place where I had a home, you know, and I was renting out this home, and they came there, and I took my baby girl, my third son. I had dropped them off at school, and I was supposed to go to school too, but I left something at home. So I go back home real quick, and I look and see that the garage door is somewhat open, you know, and I haven't got out the car yet. And then I think, well, Samson's at home, maybe he's getting ready to take the trash out. I look at where the trash goes, it's not there, so maybe he's getting ready to take the trash out. It is trash day. So my neighbors run from across the street. My neighbors run from down the street, even down, you know, you go down the corner, you cross the street, and then the house on the corner. My children used to hang out there, and they used to hang out in my house. And then this side of the street, this side of the street, both sides of the street were nothing but my neighbors running out of their houses to come and tell me that the SWAT team, the CIA, the police, and the FBI were outside my home. And I'm like, damn, I mean, why do they keep doing this to me? I didn't say that to my neighbors, you know, but I'm just listening to my neighbors all together, one after another, telling me, you know, they went in like this, they did that, the trucks were out here, the cars, you know. Years later, I find out, I told them slow, but years later, I find out it's nothing but StrEEt there. So I run in the house because I know my son Samson's there, you know. So I run in the house and Samson's 16. And I go in Samson's room, and he's up under the cover with his head up under the cover. It took me maybe 10 minutes to get him to come from up under that cover. They had put so much fear in him. He said when he woke up, he was looking down barrels of guns. He said not one barrel, barrels. He said they were all in his face. Finally, he could pull himself together enough to say they were looking for this brother who is someone else's child, whose parent lives in California. She was living here longer than me, and she lives in California, but yet they're at my house like that looking for someone else's child, and that's the excuse they used all the time. So I was fed up, because before, when they did it, you know, I was at home, you know, but this time I'm not at home, and you go in my home and no one opened the door for you. Where's your search warrant? I mean, you doing this shit behind my back. And I think, you know, this is police and shit doing this shit. I said, no. I called the police department. You know, my neighbors even told me, because after the whole thing was over, you know, my neighbors, we talked. See, neighbors don't talk anymore either, but we had homes. You know, we lived in homes, and we would come out in each other's yard or go in each other's garage or something like that. We didn't actually like interact, like go and visit and eat and stuff like that, but we did talk to each other. So when I went out, there was a brother across the street. He would watch my house all the time, you know. And you know, he had his own family, but if I'm not there, he keeps an eye on my children, you know. You know, and Frankie J, our block used to keep an eye on the children too. We thought Frankie J had eyes in the back of her head, or that she can see from all the way downtown to the beach, or whatever. It was neighbors. They were kind of like gang stalkers. Maybe that's where this idea comes from. So so yeah, I call around, you know, and I find that nobody, the police station in close to us. I go outside, I talk to some neighbors, the brother across the street, and then the brother on this side of me, you know, his wife, his children. He also told me that I need to call the police because they're not supposed to do this, whatever, you know. That's what the brothers on the block was telling me, you know. So I go in the house, I call. They even tell me which one to call. The one that's in our neighborhood, because our neighborhood is the one the police comes out to our neighborhood, and then, you know, they can't cross the county line, they can't do this, all kind of stuff. So I go ahead and I call the police station for us. They didn't even hear about it. They said, call the sheriff's department. I called the sheriff's department. They said, no, they know nothing about it, and there were no sheriffs with them. You know, no one said sheriff. There were no sheriffs with them, but there were police department. No one knew. No one knew. I called all the fucking way up to Orange County. When I get up to Orange County, it says there's no way that they're going to send police from Orange County all the way down here to San Diego. There was no need to when San Diego had plenty of police stations. So I mean, it was just so odd. How come the police don't know? So something says something's fishy with this shit. Now, years later, I find Scientology and targeted individual together, and you should have saw the pictures my brain cells was giving. It was like, this is how fast my thoughts were going in my head. I said, it was the Church of Scientology. Who else could pull it off but them? It's so many of them. And if they need you to come from LA or anywhere else, they need you to come here to do the acting, and then you will come here to do the acting. They're the only ones that I say they're the only ones that can pull this shit off. You know, a lot of people say it's the government, but I even found out that I called the police one time on someone, you know, but only because they, you know, seem to have had my son under a form of mind control, you know. I called the police, and this is when I knew about street theater and all that kind of shit. You know, targeted individual led me to street theater, and I found out most of my life street theater had been performed around me. So this is 14 minutes in. I'll be back. There you go.